What's good, guys? This is Photography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. In this video, I'm going to talk about destination weddings, destination photo gigs, and what you need to take with you when you're traveling on a photo adventure, photo gig, paid or leisure travel. All right, guys, rock and roll. Can you hear me, guys? It's loud. Rock and roll.
So you guys are about to embark on your very first destination wedding or paid photo gig? Well, let me tell you guys, don't be nervous and enjoy it. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips that'll help you first timers on your first photography journey, destination wedding, or destination photography gig that requires some traveling. Years back when I just started, I made a lot of mistakes on my first destination wedding. So hopefully these tips will help you guys out if it's your first time. So it's always important to travel light. Whatever you do, just take the basic essentials when you're traveling. And always carry on your photo equipment like you do a regular carry-on on the airplane. Never send it to baggage claim. If you can, if the case is not too big, I always carry it on. I always have my photo equipment next to me. I never want to lose it while I'm traveling. It's very important to have that carry-on next to you guys. Always pack light. If you're using two camera bodies, take them both, yes. A 24-70 lens. I take a 7200. I like to take the 14mm super wide lens and probably a 50mm 1.4 and an 85 because I really love the 85 1.4, one of my favorite lenses of all time. And here's what I do. I don't take two DSLRs. I take one DSLR and I take one mirrorless just so I could pack a little lighter. Just in case. I always want to have a DSLR handy. I know mirrorless is great. You know, I can't really rely on mirrorless right now for a gig, only because I've had some overheating issues with some of the mirrorless cameras, and I can't 100% truly rely on a mirrorless body, especially when I'm traveling. So if you are photographers that have both DSLRs and mirrorless and you're thinking about selling your DSLRs, getting rid of it, don't. Keep the DSLR, because you know that DSLR is going to always be reliable. It's like your reliable car that you know is always going to work, never going to break down. Same thing with my D4, the 800, D5. So yeah, always take plenty of cards with you, just in case. You never want to run out of cards, and cards are cheap these days, so that shouldn't be a problem. What else? Well, when I travel and I have a photo gig, destination wedding, I make sure I map everywhere, especially if I'm driving to the destination. I want to make sure that I map everything out beforehand, just so I know where I'm going. If it's a city that I'm not too familiar with, I don't want to run into any problems, guys, especially if I don't know the city well enough. Well, if it's a destination wedding and you're going to be renting a car, you're still going to be driving. So you always want to map your place out. You never want to have transportation problems when you're traveling. I like to pack all my photo equipment in one camera bag. I try not to take any tripods or stands with me if I don't have to. And another important tip I want to give you guys, check your photo gear before you leave the house. Double and triple check your gear. Make sure you got everything, and always pack the night before. Don't pack the same day. If you're flying out at night, I always pack the day before. Make sure I got everything. I double check my bag, triple check my bag. The last thing you want to do is forget something. You open your camera bag when you get to your destination and you forget a key piece of equipment. So always double and triple check and pack the night before. Tip number 6. Try to reserve your hotel as close to the location where you'll be working. If it's a wedding, try to reserve it near the banquet hall. It's a long day, you're going to be very tired. Last thing you want is to be driving a long time after work and in locations and highways that you don't know that well. Tip number 7. Try to get paid in full before you travel. You want to avoid any type of money issue with the client, especially that you're out of town. If it was a local gig, it's much easier to collect any money owed, but since it's out of town work, you want to get paid and not have any balances lingering. Actually, it's a smart idea to get paid in full every time you work locally and out of town. I'll save that topic for a future video, guys. Tip number 8. Always take a backup camera body and a backup walk around lens. What I mean by that is, you have your main camera. I always take 2 bodies. I have the backup automatically. What I mean by a backup walk around lens, if your 24-70 or one of the lenses goes down, you always want to have a backup lens to cover your wide angle, your mid, and to semi-telephoto shots. 24-105 will do the trick. 24-70 you can get away with pretty much. 24-120 is a better option, but you always want to have a lens to fall back on just in case your lens, your main lens that you use, goes down, stops focusing, or you drop it, it breaks. You always want to be covered. You're out of town, you always want to back up just in case. Tip number 9, always have some cash on you, a debit or credit card, just in case you wind up in a location where it's cash only or they take debit card only. You always want to be prepared. Always pack a jacket or a sweater. I always have a jacket in my car. I always pack a sweater. You never know, it might be cold, you might need a jacket. Wear very comfortable shoes. If you're shooting a wedding, what I do is I pack dressy shoes, and I also pack some comfortable walking shoes. You're going to be doing a lot of walking, and it's smart to have a pair of comfortable shoes. And don't forget your medication. Take some cold medicine with you, some allergy medicine. It's always smart to pack that with your toiletries. And before I get to tip number 10, please like and subscribe to Vahography. If you like these videos and you want more, hit that like button, the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Thanks guys, I'll appreciate it. So what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you as a photographer at a destination photo gig, destination wedding? Leave a comment down below. I want to read about it. And by the way, I took this footage from Seattle Tacoma International Airport, taken off from there. This was in November of 2019. Right after my gig there, I spent an extra night in Seattle. I'd never been to Seattle before, so I had some fun, took some pictures, saw the sights. That brings me to tip number 10. You guys ready? And lastly, enjoy yourself when you're there. Have fun at your location, your destination, do your job. What I do is I book an extra night so I can enjoy the destination. Depends on where I'm going, of course. If I've never been to the city, this country before, I book an extra night, and after I perform my duties, my gig, when the gig is done, the extra day and night I spend as a tourist. I check out the city, especially if I've never been there before. I try to get the most out of my trip. Might as well enjoy it, guys, because when you're there, might as well check out the city, check out the sights. That's why I book an extra night. Alright guys, have fun in your travels wherever you go. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer.